I'm going to walk you through how to construct a histogram in Excel. There are several ways to do this. I'm going to show you a simple way, built-in Excel histogram chart that's in Excel 365. It may also be in Excel 2016. I use 365. The quick Excel way would be to select our ranges, our values. In this case, we're dealing with ages. We want to group them into bins so we can look at them in groups on a histogram. So I can select Insert. And then if I go to this icon, you can see that I have a histogram insert here. So I'll click on that. I don't like this. This is ugly. We can clean it up a little bit. I want my bins to be a little bit more organized the way I want them to appear. So if I double click on this horizontal axis, it will open the properties over here. Now I could change the bin width. I want this bin width to be 10. So if I set that to 10, now I have a nice set of bins, 22, 32, 32, 42. But I would like them to go in groups of 10. I'd like them to go 20 to 30, 30 to 40. That's pretty hard to do here. There's a little trick that I figured out. There may be other ways to do this. I can look into it if you're interested. Just ask me after class. I can set the upper overflow bin to 90, so I have a 92 value in there, I know. So if I set it to 90, I know that I have a value that's greater than 90, so it will work. So you see it selects greater than 90, and here's a value there. So there are no values between 72 and 90. Now they're kind of odd though. That's got 8 values in it, 82 to 90. This has 10, 10. So to fix that, I'll go ahead and set the underflow to 30. I don't have any values under 20, so I can't set it to 20. My first value is 22. So if I set it to 30, you see I get all the values less than or equal to 30 here. I get my nice bins like I want them, groups of 10, and then I get my overflow bin here greater than 90. So that's one way to do it in Excel, but you give up some control here, labeling and other aspects of Excel. So I'm not going to do it that way. You can also do this in data analysis. We have a histogram function here. I find it to be the least workable of all of them, but it just depends on what you're looking for. If you want me to show you how to do this, I'll show you in class. This is the approach that I think gives you the most flexibility, where we kind of construct this chart ourselves. It doesn't take that long, but it really gives us some power when we want to control our presentation. First thing we have to do is look at our data and determine the lowest value and the largest value in the data. So to do that, I'm going to take the minimum value of my data, and then I'll find the maximum value of my data. All right, now I'm going to make some subjective determinations about my bin size. Like I told you, I wanted 10, starting at 20, going all the way to 100. I could have selected 5 on 20, 25, 30, 35. But I'm going to select 10, and I'm going to select where it's going to start. I want it to start at 20. I don't have anything lower than 20, so I don't care about 20. But I do have values between 20 and 30, so I want those to show up. And the upper value is 100. I don't have 110, don't have 120, but I do have values between 90 and 100, so 100. The bin size then is 10. If I want it to be 5, I would put 5 in there. Then to calculate the number of bins, and we go, I'm just going to take my range, which is my upper value, minus my lower value, take that quantity and place it over the number of bins, and that tells me I'm going to have 8 bins. 8 bins is a manageable histogram. If we did 5s, we'd be up to 16 bins. Yeah, we could cut off 95 to 100 because there's nothing there, so maybe 15 bins. But let's go with this for now. So what we're going to do, our range categories, we're going to have 20 to 30 to 40 once we get that pattern started, after a couple, we can just pull it down. We're going to go all the way to 100. Okay, I pull it down again by getting the pattern started and clicking on the autofill node and just pulling it down. Now, I want to do this because I want to teach you a couple of functions in Excel. I want to teach you the concatenate function, and I want to teach you the countifs function. So let's start with the concatenate function. Now I'm going to use concatenate. You'll see when I start to type it in that I could use concat. Concat is available in Excel 365, but last time I checked, it wasn't available in Excel 2016. So I'm going to go ahead and concatenate this. We can do it the old-fashioned way, and we'll do a little bit of old-fashioned concatenation when we use countifs, but let's look at this label now. So I'm going to type the word concatenate. You can see that it's giving me the concat option. I'm going to go ahead and take the concatenate. Concatenate is just putting values together, text strings together, adding them together, combining them in a way so that you can make a kind of a dynamic sentence or phrase or variable that changes based on what it's looking at. So I'm going to concatenate for my label, and the first value I want is the first value of my range, 20. I'm going to leave that cell reference relative because as I copy this down, I'm going to want it to update that label. The next portion, I'm going to connect to that, concatenate with that 20, is a text string, so I have to put it in quotes, and I want a space, and then I want to make my labels clear for the person reading the graph. Number one complaint that I get from my per graph up there, it could be a graph depicting the end of the world in 6 months, but if I misspelled a word or mislabeled something, that's all they'll see. Or if the labels aren't clear, that's all they'll ask about. It's very important that your labels are clear. So I'm going to put 2 less than, and I'll close that off, concatenate, hook to my next value, and then there's the upper value in this bin. So I go ahead and select that, and I get 20 to less than 30. Now if I grab that, copy it down to 90, you'll see that I get all of my bin ranges in there, labels, nice and neat, very understandable. Now the frequency, now I have to count how many ages are in that range from 20 to less than 30. We're going to do that with the countifs function, countif. The countif function lets me set one criteria. Countifs makes the ifs plural, so I can set many criteria. So I'm going to set my first criteria, and I'm going to look at my label. I want a criteria. I'm going to look at my age column here. I'm going to make that absolute by pressing the F4 function key, locking all those in place. That's the range. So I copy this down. I want it to continue to look at that range. For my criteria, I'm going to have to put in quotes because this is a text value. I'm going to put greater than or equal to, and then I'll use my ampersand to concatenate. It's not the old-fashioned way of concatenating text and values, and I'll just point to my lower bound. So I want to start with greater than or equal to 20, comma. Now here's my next search criteria. Again, I want my range. So I'll select my range again. Press F4 to make that range absolute, comma. Then I want in quotes less than, ampersand, and then I'll point to 30. Now you notice I left the reference to 20 and 30 relative, because as I copy this down, I want to count those values corresponding to the ranges they're pointing to. So here we go, see? Now we're getting 90 to 100, and we have 1. So now I'm in a place where I can go ahead and create my histogram, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it, take complete control of generating the chart. I'm going to go ahead, place my cursor so it's out here in space. There are no values in any of the cells around the cursor. So the chart wizard is not going to be able to try to generate a chart for me that I'm going to have to fix. So I'll go ahead and select my bar chart. Now once I select the chart, you can see that I have the chart tools and then I have the design tab. So I'll select my data. Now I want to add my value. So here's the frequency. Tab, take out the 1, equals, then select my values. You see it comes up, looks great. Say okay. Everything is fine except my labels across the bottom are no good, but that's all right. I've made the labels. I'll edit that. I'll select my label range. Say okay. And then you can see I've got my bins labeled nicely, easy to understand. I could change these labels. They'll change in the graph. That's how you make a histogram, kind of the old-fashioned way, but using data concatenation to control the labels and using the COUNTIF function to fill the bins with the ages in the corresponding ranges.